Well, Scorpio, I'm back, and it's March 2022. It's great to have your company. I love my fellow Scorpios. You know I've got a soft spot in my heart for you. And this month, we need to talk about what's going on in the stars because it's an important month for a couple of reasons. First and foremost is that powerful conjunction. I've already alluded to that over the past couple of weeks in some of my weekly forecast that I've been giving, but I want to talk about it again because there's a big development, and that is that the conjunction of Venus, the ruler of your 7th house, and Mars, the ruler of your sun sign, along with Pluto, make a conjunction to Pluto, and that's taking place on the 3rd, just as the new moon takes place in your 5th house of love affairs, creativity, passion. So there's a double whammy here going on for you and for me. Are you feeling that energy? It really is a very powerful, dominant energy. The influence of Pluto will shake up your relationships. It can transform them. And generally, even if you think what's happening is bad, hang in there, because usually what's going on is that's just a superficial view of what's actually meant for the best. It's a complete breakdown of the relationships. It's a complete turnaround, a regurgitation, if you will, of a situation, a relationship, circumstance, and you have to be open enough to go with that. Now, straight after that, on the 6th, that conjunction moves into the 4th house of your horoscope. The 4th house is your domestic sphere. So you can see how this combination of planets, the new moon in the 5th house of creativity, gives you an opening there to use all these energies very, very wisely, Scorpio. Don't just cop it sweet. You have to mulch all of that BS. You have to, as I've said in the past, be an intelligent gardener in life, and use your life's BS as a spiritual fertilizer for what's happening. So you've got that new moon in the 5th house. That's also spiritual mind, the 5th house. You've got the Venus and the Mars conjunction, passion, your ruler of the relationships. Transiting Pluto, your other ruler, which is the transformative planet, breaks things down, kills them only to make them reborn again. Then all of that energy is going to shift to your 4th house on the 6th. And that has to do with the way you deal with your home life. But more importantly, your internal mechanism, because home is where the heart is, right? It's the internal part of your nature, how happy or sad you are. You have an opportunity to be happy. And why should you be happy? What is it that causes happiness? Nothing causes happiness. Happiness is a decision. So that's the lesson this month for you. Now, we have a full moon as well, which I want to talk about here very briefly. That's taking place on the 18th, that's right. And it's happening in the finance sector of your horoscope. You may have been wondering what's going down financially. Jupiter is there in your 5th house, a little bit speculative. It's actually quite lucky. So I don't think you've been too badly off. But the full moon in the 2nd house shows us some opportune moment coming, some luck, some karma is there, because the moon is the ruler of your 9th house. That's one of the karmic houses, along with the 5th house. So here we see that there will be a nice connection between this full moon, to some extent, and Jupiter in your 5th house, Neptune in your 5th house, and that new moon that's been in the 5th house earlier in the month. Speculative, maybe you can make some good investments this month. There's opportunity for you to make money through your travels, through educational pursuits, through teaching, mentoring, through sharing your knowledge with other people. 9th house connected to the 2nd house. 9th house, wisdom. 2nd house, income. Information, incoming income. Incoming income. I like that. So you got the gist. There's a connectivity there between those two things. A couple of other aspects there. Mercury and Jupiter. That's going to take place also in your 5th house. You need to be careful of the people that you select as partners this month. Mercury is debilitated in that 5th house in Pisces, so your decisions may not be altogether on point. You need to blend judiciously your intuition with your intellectual prowess. and make sure that your choices are in keeping with your moral standards, Scorpio. I say no more about that. And then we have, it's so much fun, isn't it? There's a couple of other aspects there. I should mention the square of Mars to Uranus on the 23rd, straight after that Mercury aspect, and also the ingress of the Sun into your 6th house. That's the movement of the Sun into Aries on the 21st. Some big influences there. A shot in the arm, if you will, for your work. You're going to have a lot more energy and dynamic drive to do your work. The square of Mars to Uranus can show some rather stressful times. You've got to keep that under control and not overload your plate with too much work at this time. I think that's it for me, except for the final aspect on the 29th, Venus conjunct Saturn. That brings a little bit more of a conservative approach to your relationships after that really steamy start with Mars and Venus at the outset. Don't forget, popping over to astrology.com.au. I've got it all there for you, daily, monthly, weekly, yearly readings. We've got the free psychic readings. Got yours truly here. If you need personal reading, drop me a line. I'm more than happy to discuss that with you. And I hope I'll see you here next month. I'll be back. Take care now. Bye-bye.